Welcome back, everybody. This is the Golden Era Bookworm. I bring you now the fifth cover of Arnold Schwarzenegger, his fifth ever magazine cover, still in black and white. This time, though, Arnold had reached the attention of the English-speaking Western world, and his first cover on an English-speaking, well, I should say English-written magazine was Health and Strength, March the 2nd, 1967. And you can see that this photo was actually the same one that appeared in his fourth ever cover, which was on Craft Sport Review, the German magazine, number 30. Under Health and Strength and the price, we are told what the photo is about. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger, the 19-year-old star of the Britain show in April. This indicates that in a month's time, Arnold was going to appear in what's called the Britain show. Of course, before this actual cover, before Arnold made the cover of the Health and Strength magazine, he was actually already featured in many other Health and Strength magazines from 1966, namely those that covered the Mr. Universe contest. He was a sensation, as I mentioned. He was the first German-speaking European bodybuilder that was really massive and really, I guess, it shook the world, the bodybuilding world. It shook the idea that American and only English-speaking bodybuilders dominated the scene. Finally, Arnold had arrived and he was going to make an impact. And at only 19 years of age, everybody was predicting that he was going to be a future great. And right they were. So, looking just quickly through the magazine, the most important part, as I mentioned, is his appearance in the Britain show, which was going to be held on April the 8th. Here is a photo of Arnold. So this is no actual article on Arnold. The photo is important, taken by George Greenwood. So when Arnold arrived in Britain, he actually spent some time with George Greenwood. And George Greenwood actually took many photos of Arnold. He was the first photographer for an English magazine, not a German magazine, for an English magazine that took photos of Arnold. This was before Wader. This is before Muscle Builder / Power, and before Mr. America. Because when Arnold went to America, he actually signed a contract with the Waders to only basically appear on their magazines, etc., etc. Before that, the Health and Strength magazine began featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the photographer that took his photos was George Greenwood. Here he is with Reg Park's wife, Marion Park, and Brenda Sell, the wife, I believe, of I forget who actually. I think it's Leon Sell? I forgot. Anyway, at Wag Bennett's recent show, and the announcement is that Arnold would be back for the Britain show April the 8th. Now there is an interesting article at the back on Arnold. Here we go. In Arnold's biography, which I've done a review on Arnold, the Education of a Bodybuilder, in the biographical section, Arnold talks about the meeting that he had with Reg Park right after he came second in the Mr. Universe. And they do meet, and in this article, which is quite lengthy, I'll just mention the last couple of paragraphs. He actually meets Reg. Arnold Schwarzenegger, who appeared at two of the shows Reg attended. Reg actually invited Arnold to go on tour with him. And it goes on. His brief visit to the universe did not let us get to know this charming and unspoilt lad, for he is only a lad at 19, but he carries a mature head on those massive shoulders. He spent a week as the guest of Wag and Diane Bennett, and little Francis Blythe thoughtfully took a week off work to escort him round London. He became one of the family, and so popular. Much will be written about this lad, and George Greenwood has got some splendid pictures. As I mentioned, George Greenwood was the major photographer that dealt with Arnold at the time, after Albert Busek, of course. Like Reg, the reception he had was fantastic. He is bigger than ever and seems to have grown even in height since we saw him at the Universe. He must be 6 foot 3 inches and weighed 235 pounds. His expanded chest was 56 inches and his arms were 20 inches. He has been training since he was 13, and he told me that he comes from a very big family, as in tall family. His father weighing over 19 stone and well over 6 foot. He is certainly no big head, and everyone with whom he came into contact remarked on his modesty and shyness. He said that Reg had been his childhood idol, and after seeing Reg, he was even more of a fan of his. Comparison between these two greats would not be fair. Reg is a mature man, Arnold but a boy, and as yet a bit raw and unfinished. Sufficient to say that Arnold must have the potential and the physical makeup to be even greater than Reg one day, and that it will take a very good man to beat him at the 1967 NABBA universe. Just like the Germans, now everybody in Europe, including Great Britain, was predicting that Arnold was going to be the 1967 Mr. Universe, and they were right. In the meantime, he is assured of a great welcome at the Britain show on April the 8th, and Wag has kindly asked him to go and stay with him and his family again. Come along and see this young giant for yourself. Full reports on the shows are in this issue, but sufficient to say that both Reg and Arnold had fantastic receptions at overflowing halls. So that's mainly what this is all about. Arnold's introduction to, I guess, the English-speaking Western world. In this first magazine cover, we learn that Arnold not only was a sensation at the Mr. Universe, but that he was the man, I guess, to beat in 1967, that much was expected of him. This introduction really, I guess, had a lot of ripples in the bodybuilding community, because everybody was predicting great things about Arnold. Everybody could see the potential, and they were right, because after this there were so many covers of Arnold. This is really the beginning. Following this, Health and Strength made another cover with Arnold, which I'll go through. Then they actually did the story of Arnold, and after that, yeah, there were just more and more covers of Arnold until Wader snatched him. So that's it for this now fifth, I believe. Fifth? Is it the fifth? Is it the fifth? I'm pretty sure this is the fifth. Sorry about that. Yes, this is the fifth cover of Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Sorry, I dropped something just then. I'll be making Arnold's sixth cover shortly. Yeah, so let me know what you think. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like this series, Let me know about other covers you might be aware of that you'd like to find out about. The first American cover came a little bit later on. That was actually through Muscular Development. That was a little bit later on. The English now focused their attention to Arnold, who was already well known in the German-speaking European countries, and that's what I'm going to focus on, the English covers, which were now the next covers of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.